Pleasant evening and a very warm welcome to the National News Broadcast. We are coming to you live from Rupavahini's News Studios. I'm Dilanjali Anand.
I'm Ubin Hettiarachchi and today is the 23rd of January and here are today's headlines. A 2,000 rupee monthly allowance to all institutionalized persons, including those who receive Samruddhi benefits. Minister Tiran Alas says around 100,000 nude photos had been released to social media last year. The central bank governor says bank loan interest rates should further come down. Japan has provided a total of 116 million rupees to humanitarian activities in the northern province. A bhikkhu at Ganarama Mahaviharaya in Kahatana has been shot dead. A strong earthquake in China causes massive damage.
Now for those and other stories in detail. Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Nandlal Veerasinghe, says that bank loan interest rates should further come down.
He was addressing a media briefing at the Central Bank today. The governor has further stated that inflation in the month of January may increase to around 7% as a result of the government-introduced value-added tax and the rainy weather condition.
If you can remember, even last fan chart, the last time also, we have shown the uptick in inflation in January, mainly because of the administrative of this thing. And before this VAT change was kind of considered, then we had this inflation forecast around 5%, even from January onwards, before that. That's correct. But once we got to know this VAT is going to be introduced and when there was some certainty in the implementation, then we have revised our predictions upward to reflect this impact of VAT from January onwards. Those are two things. In fact, the uptick in inflation in January, because once the price levels gone up, it will remain at that level, and impact on inflation will remain for at least 12 months period. Once it's increased and remain at that level unless some of the factors will bring it down. First couple of months, there will be some increase. Close to just above in the middle part is about 6%. I think probably month of January, February, that will remain, and then after that it will gradually. There are certain other factors like there's an impact on the base effect and impact on this price increase. Other short-term factors also will play. So we have a prediction that it will remain around high levels for some time, and then it will come down back to 5% on the medium term. I think the private sector credit growth is not a target. So this in the current monetary framework, target is inflation. Our monetary policy, as a result of monetary policy changes, there could be an outcome of private sector credit. Obviously, when we relax monetary policy, what we expect, banks will give more credit to the private sector. That we can see clearly from June onwards. This is turning into positive territory, and that steadily moving in the trend will continue. I think we think that trend will continue, and there will be a reasonable amount of credit flow compared to the tightening cycle we had in almost 1.5 years. You can see all the negative growth, and now it will turn into positive, and I would expect that positive growth will continue.
The Central Bank of Sri Lanka maintains the policy interest rates at the current levels. Accordingly, the standing deposit facility rate will remain at 9%, and the standing lending facility rate will remain at 10%, and the Federal Reserve ratio will remain at 2%. Headline inflation, although accelerated in recent months, remains closer to the inflation target of the Central Bank. As you can clearly see, inflation has come down sharply, and there's a little uptick in recent months. Still, in December, inflation was at 4% level, headline inflation, which is below the target, but in the near term, we expect some rise in inflation. That is mainly due to the domestic price adjustments because of VAT amendments and the elimination of certain VAT exemptions. And also we have seen some disruptions to domestic food supply due to weather disruptions. And also we see some dissipation of the favorable base effect that we had last year. Another thing to note is that the core inflation, which sort of indicates the demand pressures of the economy, which is very subdued now at 0.6% in December.
The Ministry of Finance has decided to provide a 2,000 rupee monthly allowance to all institutionalized individuals, including those who are receiving Samruddhi benefits. Around 16,000 persons are entitled to receive these welfare payments. The allowance is scheduled to be effective from January because in Pirivenas, children in children's homes and elders in elders' homes and persons with disabilities are entitled to receive the benefits. State Minister of Finance Shahan Sem Singh has said that the relevant payments will be handed through the district secretaries.
Minister Tiran Allah says in the last year alone 100,000 nude photos had been released into the social media in the country. The minister has made these remarks opening a two-day debate on the draft bill relating to safety of the online in Parliament today. It has been decided at a committee stage meeting on parliamentary affairs on the 12th of this month that the debate on online safety should be conducted today and tomorrow. However, the opposition had raised objections to this decision at the commencement of the parliament session today. Speaker Mahinda Yapa has decided to reconvene another meeting of party leaders. Accordingly, the session was adjourned at 10 o'clock this morning and a party leaders meeting was conducted. It was decided at the meeting to take up the debate on the draft bill of the Act with the consent of the House. Accordingly, a vote was held. Opposition leader Sajid Premadas said that activities pertaining to the debate scheduled to be conducted today are against the standing orders as well as the Constitution. The opposition leader has therefore requested the Speaker to immediately suspend the debate. Parliamentary Vimal Veeravansa said that they also accept the fact that there is misuse of social media in the country. He has also requested to use the Act to control the social media activities. Parliamentarian Andra Kumar Dissanayake said that the social media had been used to disseminate filtered and accurate information to the general public. Citing an example, he has stated that it had not been for the accurate reporting by the social media, the Narambala shooting incident could have been reported as a tale fabricated by the police. Accordingly, a deceased would have been turned into an offender. State Minister Shanta Bandara said that the Act has been an essential requirement for the country since the year 2016. He further says that people in all parts of the island have been pointing out on the need to halt destructions created by the social media. He added that they have inquired the government as to why they are not taking action. Minister Susila Premchand said that more than 3 months have been elapsed since the declaration of the Supreme Court determination. There is nothing new or unusual in this Act and that it should be approved.
අද දින න්‍යාය පත්‍රයේ ප්‍රධාන වැඩ කටයුතු වල විෂයාංක 1 මාර්ගගත ක්‍රමවල සුරක්ෂිතභාවය පිළිබඳ 50 කෙටුම්පත දෙවනවර කීමේ විවාදය ආරම්භ කිරීමේ යෝජනාව පක්ෂව ඡන්ද 83යි විපක්ෂව ඡන්ද 50යි. ඒ අනුව වැඩි ඡන්ද 33කින් යෝජනාව සම්මත විය. ඒ අනුව විවාදය ටිරාන් අලස් මැතිතුමා ආරම්භ කරන්න.
ගිය අවුරුද්දේ පමණ නිර්වාචන
Tiran Alas said that Cyber has reported 697 complaints. In this regard, the Internet has also reported of 34 incidents of threats. There has been 457 complaints on misappropriation of funds. The bill intends to rectify all shortcomings. All are aware on the need of legislation to confront such activities in order to safeguard women and children. Such rules and regulations are necessary. The minister further said that his opinion is that nobody could oppose the bringing of such an act.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe has directed the Sri Lanka Telecommunication and Regulatory Commission to facilitate the return of the rewards package from Mobitel to the government employees and pensioners along with implementing additional concessions.
Additionally, the President has mandated the Commission to extend these benefits to all and instructed the TRC to undertake the required measures to grant the relief package to all journalists registered with the Government Information Department.
Senior Presidential Advisor on National Security and Chief of Presidential Staff Sadul Ratnayake says that as a result of the correct economic program commenced by the President, it has become possible to build a confidence of the international community regarding Sri Lanka's economy. He further said that the President is taking measures for the stabilization of the economy with a new economic vision by engaging in reforms in the financial, legal and administrative sectors. He made these remarks at a seminar on the Budget 2024 held at the Presidential Secretariat today. It was organized by the Presidential Trade Union Relations Division. Senior Presidential Advisor on National Security and Chief of Presidential Staff Sagar Ratnayake said that through reaching an agreement with the IMF, $900 million could be received, adding that the real victory is rebuilding the international confidence of the economy and the island. Without the international support, Sri Lanka is unable to go forward. Sagar Ratnayake further said that there should be a present plan to increase income. If not, people will be unable to confront the prices of the consumer items, which have increased by threefold. Even the 10,000 rupee salary increase received by government servants is hardly sufficient to meet the rising cost of living. The government programs are limited at aimed at increasing economic growth rate, adding that 2024 budget has been prepared to fulfill this objective.
අයවැය සම්පූර්ණයෙන් සකස් කරේ මේක ඉලක්ක කරගෙන.
පාර්ලිමේන්තුව අපි දැක්කා අයවැයට වඩා වැඩි වෙලාවක් වෙන් වුණා සමහර වෙලාවට.
Director General of the Presidential Trade Union, Saman Ratnapriya, said that they have seen how Parliament has allocated more to talk about cricket rather than to discuss on the budget. He also said that a question has arisen whether attention has been focused on the document presented to resurrect the fallen economy. He also said that the last cent of the allocation will have to be used on behalf of the public.
Parliamentarian Sivi Vigneshwaran says he would cast his vote to Ranil Wickremesinghe if he presents himself for the forthcoming presidential election. He has made these remarks at a media briefing. Parliamentarian Sivi Vigneshwaran said that he would personally vote for President Ranil Wickremesinghe. Out of the three main candidates, he is the person who is not obsessed with singular-based thinking. He further said that he believes he is the best of the three.
The Japanese government has provided a total sum of 116 million rupees for the humanitarian demining activities in the northern province. The grant contract of the demining project was signed in Colombo this morning. The contract was signed between the Japanese ambassador to Sri Lanka, Mitsukoshi Hideki, and Nanda Chandrasiri, the program manager of the Dash Institute. The Delmon Assistance for Social Harmony Dash is implementing the agency of the humanitarian demining program in the Mullaitivu district. The Japanese government hopes that the project will benefit the recovery and reconciliation process of the northern province.
The GDP is commonly referred to economic and social development in developing countries based on Japan for Sri Lanka. Today we will hold this.
Minister Kanchana Vijayasekara has requested the Speaker today to convene a person named Ranjan Jayalal before the Privileges Committee of the Parliament. The Minister focused his attention on the House today regarding a statement made by a newspaper that this person said that the Parliament has failed to pay back its electricity bills. Minister Kanchana Vijayasekara said that even yesterday morning a news report had been published in newspapers as well as in media regarding the Parliament defaulting in the payment of an electricity bill of 70 million rupees. The minister further said that he looked into the news item today as well and found out that the Parliament has been continuously paying its power bills on a monthly basis. There had been no arrears. He further said that no arrears had payment been reported in the Presidential Secretariat as well. The Minister Vijayasekara has therefore requested the Speaker to bring before the Parliamentary Privileges Committee and take legal action against a person named Ranjan Jayalal who made a statement to this effect, bidding dishonour to the Parliament. The second stage of the course on the Acting Academy has commenced at the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation recently.
A special feature of this program is main veterans in the field offering their services as resource personnel. The Acting Academy training program is being jointly conducted by the Research and Training Unit and the Drama Unit of Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation. 80 course participants are included in the current program. The inaugural address was conducted by Vishwajit Gunasekara. Students who have successfully concluded the 6-month training course are now extending their contributions for the artistic creations of the national television as well as on numerous forms of art throughout the island.
Now a look at few local items in brief. A bhikkhu at the Ganarama Mahavihara in Kahatana in Malwattu-Hiripitiya police division was reported to have been shot to death. A victim was a 45-year-old Thera named Halpave Dharmaratna. The 4 suspects who came in a Honda motor car were said to have shot the bhikkhu with a T-56 firearm. The bhikkhu has passed away on admission to the Gampaha General Hospital, while the suspects have fled. Police investigations are being carried out. Minister Pavitra Vanniyarachi said that disputes pertaining to soil blockage erected across the Nilwala River will be presented to the Cabinet of Ministers in order to have a speedy solution.
Now, the Japanese government has provided a total sum of 116 million rupees for the humanitarian demining activities in the northern province. The grant contract of the demining project was signed in Colombo this morning. The contract was signed between Japanese ambassador to Sri Lanka, Mishkoshi Hideaki and Anand Chandra Siri, the program manager of the Dash Institute. The Devlon Assistance for Social Harmony Dash is the implementing agency of the humanitarian demining program in the Mullaitivu district. The Japanese government hopes that the project will benefit the recovery and reconciliation process in the northern province.
Remarkable results in clearing landmines and explosive remnants of civil war in conflict-affected areas, particularly in the northern and eastern provinces. Landmines remain to pose a serious threat to the lives and livelihoods of people living in conflict-affected areas. They also hinder the resettlement, reconstruction, and development of these areas. As a steadfast partner of Sri Lanka in its post-conflict recovery and reconciliation process, Japan has provided more than $45 million for demining projects in Sri Lanka since 2002 through our grant assistance for grassroots and human security project. Our assistance is based on our firm belief that demining is a prerequisite for peace building and sustainable development in Sri Lanka. We are committed to helping Sri Lanka achieve its goal of becoming a mine impact-free country by 2027, as pledged under the Ottawa Convention. We also hope that our assistance will contribute to the harmony and coexistence of different ethnic and religious groups in Sri Lanka, which is essential for the long-term stability and prosperity of this beautiful island nation, and hope that it will not only benefit the people of Sri Lanka, but also enhance the friendship and goodwill between Japan and Sri Lanka.
Japan has been the closest friend of Sri Lanka since the early 1950s. Even after 7 decades, this friendship is continuing in a much stronger manner, with enormous and diverse assistance extended to Sri Lanka by Japan. And Japan has been a leading supporter of the National Mine Action Program of Sri Lanka. The award of $364,963 that was extended by Japan today will enable us to continue our Japan-funded demining operations for another 6 months. We are very grateful that this grant leads to the 14th consecutive year of our Japan-funded demining operations, with nearly $8 million being provided to Dash. As of 31st December 2023, our Japan-funded program alone has enabled us to clear and release more than 6.8 square kilometers of contaminated land, and in the process to recover and destroy 54,269 anti-personnel mines, 102 anti-tank mines, 13,791 items of explosive remnants of war, and 55,834 small arms ammunition. And most importantly, there have been 24,357 people directly and 79,386 people indirectly benefited in this process from Japan.
955 suspects have been taken into custody in connection with the numerous criminal and other illegal acts by police operations in the past 24 hours. The police says 633 suspects charged with drug-related offences and 322 are suspects connected to criminal acts are included in the list. In an operation conducted at the Yala National Wildlife Park, the Gonara police station in Buttala has detected 220 kilograms of dried cannabis. The police says the value of the contraband is around 10 million rupees. Operations are underway to apprehend the suspect who have escaped custody. In another raid carried out in the Vellampitiya police division yesterday, a 61-year-old woman who had in her possession banned drugs has been arrested. It has also been revealed that the suspect is a resident of Kolonnava. A lorry which was transporting timber without a permit was apprehended in the Iranamadua. Police says that the back of the lorry was covered with cow dung in order to conceal sworn timber including teak and madan. The culprit of the offence was a 41-year-old resident of Chavkacheria who has been arrested.
The Apeksha Pierce Cancer Treatment Ward of the new District General Hospital in Kamburgamua, Mathura was IPCAD opened recently. A sum of 80 million rupees has been spent on the project. The Mathura Bodhi Protection Council has taken up measures to set up a ward using financial contribution of foreign nationals through the approval of the Ministry of Health and the Mathura General Hospital. Secretary to the Ministry of Health, Consultant Dr. Palitha Mahipalav, has declared open the ward which construction had commenced in the year 2019. Secretary to the Ministry of Health, Dr. Mahipalav, said that the World Health Organization said that most of the deaths are currently being caused due to heart disease. He added that, however, by the year 2030, deaths due to cancer would exceed the deaths caused due to heart disease. He further said that the Health Ministry has allocated funds amounting to 407 billion rupees for health services this year. He also said that the Mathura Hospital alone will be providing more than 500 million rupees this year. The Sri Lanka still maintains the best health facilities in the region. There may be shortcomings. Sri Lanka is the top position in terms of health indexes. Sri Lanka's health activities have once again been appreciated in the Asian region. Sri Lanka has been acknowledged as a country which has controlled hepatitis B disease. The WHO and the two Asian countries have endorsed Sri Lanka's highest performance in the health sector.
ශ්‍රී ලංකාව ආයමත් වරක් ආසියාව තුළ අගය කරා හෙපටයිටිස් B රෝගය පාලනය කරපු රටක් වශයෙන් ඒක ලෝක සංවිධානයේ ආසියානු කලාපය රටවල් දෙකක් හඳුනාගත්තා අපි
Now, research conducted in Sri Lanka on the preparation of coconut saplings using tissue transplant technology for the first time in the world has been successful. The experiments have been conducted by the Coconut Research Institute in Lunavilla. Minister Mahinda Amaravira was engaged in an inspection tour to look into the research findings recently. He has inspected how coconut saplings were produced using sensitive parts of a coconut flower. The traditional coconut cultivation methods require a large space. However, the laboratory breeding of coconut saplings has been carried out using a glass tube of around 6 inches in height. The research group included scientist Dr. Sanatani Ranasinghe and Dr. Vijita Vidanarachi. That's all the news we have from home. Stay tuned for international stories coming up next. Now, a magnitude 7.1 earthquake rocked the mountainous and remote part of China's far western Xinjiang region early today with multiple injuries. The quake struck Wuxi County near the Kyrgyzstan border shortly after 2 a.m. local time. Of the 6 people hurt, only 2 had serious injuries. Among the more than 120 buildings damaged, 47 houses collapsed and 78 houses were damaged. The local media reported that nearly 200 rescue workers have been dispatched to the quake zone and hundreds more are being assembled. The Xinjiang Railway Authority immediately sealed off routes in the areas affected by the quake and suspended 27 trains. The state-run China Earthquake Networks Center said more than 50 aftershocks above magnitude 3 were reported as of 11 a.m. today.
The Israeli army says 24 of its soldiers were killed in Gaza on Monday, the deadliest day for its forces since their ground operation began. That includes 21 reservists who died on an explosion likely caused by mines that Israeli forces had planted in 2 buildings to demolish them. The Israeli Defense Forces said that it is thought that a missile fired by Palestinian army fighters hit a tank near the buildings. The IDF is investigating what happened. Its chief spokesman, Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari, said that the reservists were killed in central Gaza at around 4 p.m. on Monday, close to the kibbutz Kifum on the Israeli side of the border.
The UK and US have carried out a second joint operation against Houthis in Yemen in response to their attacks on shipping in the Red Sea. Foreign Secretary David Cameron says the UK and the US want to send the clearest possible message that their words will be supported by action in Pentagon, says Monday's strikes hit 8 targets, including an underground storage site and Houthi missile and surveillance capability. The Iran-backed Houthis have been targeting ships they say are linked to Israel.
Storm Jocelyn will spread across most of UK on Tuesday, a day after Storm Isha wreaked havoc and left at least 2 people dead. The rainfall is expected in the western Scotland, northwest England and Yorkshire Dales and northwest Wales, with flooding possible. Wind gusts will reach 40 to 50 miles per hour across UK by late afternoon. All ScotRail trains will be suspended and will not restart on Wednesday morning. The train provider said each route would need to undergo safety inspection before being able to operate due to the risk of trees and other debris falling on the tracks. North and West Scotland are in store for the strongest winds that are expected to reach 80 miles per hour.
Now, Australia's former Prime Minister Scott Morrison has announced that he will quit Parliament to join the private sector. Morrison, a Conservative who was first elected in 2007, was the country's leader from 2018 to 2022. He oversaw Australia's pandemic response, the AUKUS Defence Pact, and was embroiled in the historic scandal for secretly appointing himself to several ministerial positions, while Prime Minister Morrison retirement has long been expected following a shattering election loss to Labour's Anthony Albanese in 2022, which left the Liberal National Coalition with its lowest ever number of seats. Australia's reputation as a climate laggard was a major factor in his government's demise. During his time in office, the Prime Minister had a particularly rocky relationship with China, Australia's largest trading partner. In a statement, Scott Morrison said that he would now take on strategic advisory roles across Asia to focus on security matters in the Indo-Pacific.
Prima Kutumi, Pantamai.
Now on to the sports news. We are looking at cricket first. Former captain of the Sri Lanka team, Dimuth Karunaratne, has been included in the Test Cricket Team 2023 declared by the International Cricket Council.
11 players are in the team.
Dimuth Karunaratne was successful opening batsman of the Sri Lankan team last year. He participated in 6 Test matches, scoring 608 runs last year. His average was 60.8. In a series against New Zealand, Karunaratne scored 207 runs in 4 innings. Another special feature was him scoring 2 centuries in a test against Ireland. Sharjah Warriors beat Dubai Capitals in the International League T20 tournament in Dubai. The Dubai Capitals team, batting first, scored 170 runs for the loss of 7 wickets in 20 overs. Mahesh Theekshana took 2 wickets for 32 runs. The Sharjah Warriors in reply scored nearly 170 runs for the loss of 5 wickets in 18 overs and 5 deliveries. Duswan Samira took 4 wickets for 28 runs. The Qatar team was successful in securing a goal in a 1-0 victory against China in the Asia Cup football tournament match played in Qatar yesterday. Novak Djokovic of Serbia secured a spot in the semi-finals of the Australian Open tennis tournament. He beat US competitor Taylor Fritz in the quarter-finals match by 3-1. This is the 11th time Novak Djokovic, the number one ranked player in the world, secured a spot in the semi-finals of the Australian Open. That's it for tonight's English News Telecast. Thanks for joining us. Good night.